Okay, we started July off with tearing into the media room big time. This room probably looked the nicest, so it was really kind of painful to tear into it. But we did find several items that it was good that we did. The first is we found some rust and grime. Well, not grime, but just rust in the corners that was pretty severe from, I think, the heating system leaking and the air conditioning condensation line leaking in those areas. The other big thing that we found is coming up in just a moment, and we had already found a nest in the master bedroom, but in this nest we found that. Ugh! Big old rat up in the ceiling. Oh, and then when we weren't tearing stuff out, we were slowly putting metal back into the boat. Now that is my welder, and here are some plates we've prepped to install into the ceiling. There they are, installed and treated with SR17 to keep the rust away until we're ready to paint them and everything. And here you can see a hole, the magnets being used to hold it in place, and then the final welded piece. And you can see the sticky pieces on there. That was earlier patches we put on to cover up those holes. And there you can see some of the gaping holes that were in. Now they weren't like that when we bought the boat. They were, just looked like blistered paint and everything. But when we chipped them out, that's what we discovered. It was just flake rust all the way through. And of course, as you beat them, you keep chipping out the rust till you get down to good metal. And a lot of times there would be no good metal. It would just go all the way through eventually. So there's a whole bunch of patching. Here we're putting the first coat of paint on. And then we put on some white. And here we're starting the installation of the mini split air conditioner. We had put the outside unit up about a couple of months earlier, but we needed to have all the welding work right above that unit, the inside unit, done. And so here we're bringing the line through the pilot house, and then it wraps around. Yeah, there's the outside unit. Then we moved into the galley and foyer. Already torn out the oven there. There you can see the sink. Over next to that door would have been the refrigerator. We finally got into the electrical panel. I had been waiting quite some time because one, I had to put in this backup panel, and then after getting the backup panel in there, we could now disconnect the wiring completely and then start cutting it all out, because the boat was originally built as a European 220 boat, and then when it was brought across, at some point it was converted to a US style 120 and 120. Well, the way they had decided to wire it was just reuse the white neutral line as the other hot. And I didn't discover this until I was going to remove one of the old air conditioner units, and I just luckily pulled out my high voltage detection pin and put it up there, and it started beeping, and I'm like, I turned all the power off to this guy. So I pulled the wires apart and realized I was reading high voltage, 110 volts still, on the white wires. So I went back and looked at the panel, and sure enough, I put a probe on there and it was showing 110 volts. The electrical system in the boat, the AC side of it, was not at all correct, and so all the AC wiring had to come out. And that was the start of that. And you'll see in future videos all the rewiring we did and all the additional stuff we did to correctly wire it. Anyway, later.